Hi Virgo, welcome to your reading for April, your chakra reading for April 2019. My name's Amber. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It was formerly known as Symbols for Living. Now we are named Persephone's Journey. Fancied a new look of paint, a new name to go with it. So yeah, I've changed. I hope that you guys like it, and you can read into where maybe that name may have come from. But yeah, I have obviously made a spelling mistake in my name. I'm aware of it. I've tried to change it, and Google is saying the computer says no for 3 months, so I have to wait. So yeah, I'm gonna look like a very bad speller for the next 3 months, but I have to live with that. So your chakra reading, I'm using the Wisdom of the Oracle Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck, where there are 7 cards for every chakra. At the base of the deck, we do have perception here. So the way that your heart is perceiving things this month is quite important, and will be maybe a major focus or learning point or learning opportunity for you for this month. Perception really is everything, and I just said that in the Leo reading, that really perception is really what manifests your reality ultimately. I mean, even in sociology, it's a fact. It's a scientific fact. It's been measured scientifically. That is how you perceive things that affects how you respond to your world. And then how you see yourself in that world, and then that just kind of self-perpetuating, and yeah, so basically how you perceive things is really important. Mindfulness is probably the greatest tool in terms of managing your perceptions. Also, I've recently been reading about transactional analysis, I think it's called. It's part of humanistic psychology, and it's about how we interact with others in our world according to how we're perceiving the world and how we're perceiving ourselves in the situation. So that's really interesting. So yeah, perception is a big deal for me too. I'm actually a Virgo, so yeah, that might be why it's making a lot of sense for me. But yeah, absolutely. And I think this as well, perceiving what is valuable and what's not as well, and I think that's where the goal is for you because of this green gem here, that it's perceiving what is beautiful, what is truly beautiful, and what is not, what is a rare beauty and what is common, and also recognizing that in yourself, knowing that you yourself are a rare gem, as in there's no one else that's like you now, has ever been, or will ever be. So just in that sense, you're a rarity, you are a rare diamond. And I think that's something that you need to think about this month. And same as me, I'll be thinking about that a lot this month. Interestingly enough, we've also got the self-worth card. So just fix that my computer, sorry. We've got the self-worth card, which is represented here, in the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra for me is all about, our emotional security, and also creativity and expression, emotional bonds, family, and things like that. So in those kind of relationships, self-worth is really going to be important. And again, it's like spirit is saying, yes, this chair's for you. This, beautifully adorned, kind of well upholstered chair. It looks like it's made of pure gold or something, and it's literally been given, being highlighted by a higher power, as in a seat has been offered to you, Virgo, and it's up to you to sit in it. You may feel like, but hang on, I don't look like, this looks like a seat fit for a king or a queen or an empress or someone in authority, or someone with a certain amount of power and influence. And it looks like you're here, or maybe we're here, as I'm a Virgo, looking at that chair, thinking, people like me don't sit in chairs like that. That could be happening a lot this month. But you have to recognize that you are a jewel. You may feel like you're just a normal kind of maiden, or like, you know, you're just not that special, but actually you are. You're very, very special, and very, very valuable, and your potential is boundless. We're only limited because of this 3D world that we're in, and other issues. But yeah, ultimately you are beautiful and you're bountiful, and you're also to remember that you are a spiritual being living a human existence. So as much as you may see things around you and you may say, well, physically I don't deserve that because I haven't completed this, I haven't done that, or I don't wear these clothes, or I don't come from that background, or whatever it is, it's letting you know that the physical isn't important, and that you have to find the beauty in yourself. You have to find and see and perceive the amazingness that is you, away from all the physical. So say for instance, you could be someone who has lost something, maybe you had an arm amputated or something, like for instance, for me, okay, I'm getting really personal. I'm always getting personal when these chakra readings, and I don't know why. Okay, I'm a mum. I'm no longer 25. I'm nowhere near 25 anymore, unfortunately. But I'm looking forward to aging gracefully and with wisdom. But either way, I'm not 25. I've had children. I've had 3 kids. My body is not like a model's body or how I was when I was 25. Okay. Now, it could be that someone that looks like Brad Pitt or, you know, Tom Cruise in his earlier years, or you know, some gorgeous, very successful, wealthy person could come up to me and say, you know, I'd really like to take you on a date, or whatever. And I could feel that I'm not worthy, because usually they may go for a type that looks perfect because they can afford to, or that, you know, they're always having women thrown at them. And it's saying, actually, no, you've been offered a seat. And it's only because of your self-worth or lack of it. And really it's lack of your perceived self-worth, you know, that's stopping you taking your rightful seat because of what you're seeing physically. And actually, no, there could be an amazing, you know, the person that could be, say, interested in me, this, you know, gorgeous, successful person, could be like, I like you for you. It's actually who you are. It's how you perceive the world. It's how you treat me. It's how you deal with your family or your friends or life in general that really attracts me to you, that really turns me on, you know. So, or makes them feel at home, or makes them feel appreciated, that fills certain voids, or scratches certain itches that maybe no one else can scratch because of who you are individually. And that is to be celebrated, that you bring that particular flavors to the world. But yeah, you're worthy. You really are. That seat is for you, so don't deny it when it comes. But it's your perception this month that may throw you off. So then we've got, for your crown chakra, we've got creation, the creation card. So I think around you, there's many opportunities for you to progress, to move forward, to maybe co-create with other people, or to create some sort of new life for yourself, create abundance, create a job, a career. Again, we've got a jewel in this person's hand. It's like you have something that maybe no one else has, or that is a special gift. She also looks to me like she's a reader or an intuitive or a shaman type individual. So, you know, this could be definitely just my reading. But generally speaking, it's looking like there's someone here who has a special insight, understanding, wisdom, or knowledge about something that is allowing you to create a kind of, to create more of that in your life, I guess. But you're definitely feeling very creative, and maybe there's a lot of things changing in your world, or growing, or being created around you, in your environment. So I feel like there could be change happening as well, because creation is a process. So it could be that you're going through some sort of process of change, of creation. We've then got balance here, for your third eye. Okay, we've got people in this card that don't look very happy at all about maybe a judgment that you've made. Now, other people's opinions around a choice that you've made or a judgment that you've made about them or about your life or generally, they're not happy about it. They don't think it's fair. You have to remember that you cannot please everyone. And that ultimately you can only please yourself, because you have to live with your decisions and your choices. And you have to have a balanced maintain a balanced perception and remain balanced in that. And ultimately it's going to cause you to be in balance if you're trying to please that person and then please that person and do what everyone else wants and keeping everyone else happy. You're going to feel very imbalanced within. And this again is about you checking in with yourself. Self-worth, again, you know, one of the first steps, as if probably many of you know, or some of you know at least, you know, one of the first steps to kind of developing self-worth is to kind of develop a healthy dialogue with yourself, i.e. telling yourself that you love yourself and all those things in the mirror, and or just finding peace with yourself and any kind of imperfections that you may have. You're going to be a bit of a trailblazer. You're going to do things differently. You're going to express yourself how you want to. And you're going to be seen as a kind of hero for it. Like, people don't like it because they want to do what you're doing. This is going to affect possibly your intuition. If you keep, like I said, if you're being pulled from left to right, you're never going to know how you really feel. And I was going to say with the self-worth card and checking in with yourself, that's important to check in with yourself. To take that time to ask yourself, how are you doing? Being mindful of your actions and your thoughts. Yeah, so you have to have a clear perception. This is the third eye also talks about our perception of the world, and it looks like you're being reminded here that the way you're perceiving things does require some balance to be brought into it, or you are to maintain the balance if you've already kind of achieved it, and not to be swayed by other people's opinions, because as you do, it will affect how you actually are seeing things, and it will confuse you basically, and you won't know how you feel to enable yourself to move in the direction that you want to move in. So you may become out of touch or out of alignment with your true heart's desires, you know, or your true plans. Okay, we've got quest here for your throat chakra. That was further clarified by impatience that came out with it. But the quest here is talking about obviously you being on some sort of journey, trying to achieve something. There's also people looking up to you. There could be children involved. You know, your children could be watching you at the moment, or maybe it could be just younger sisters or nieces, nephews, godchildren, children that you work with if you're a nursery teacher or work in schools or with children. There's people looking up to you as you move forward. There's people that are looking up to you that you're making a difference. The way that you're seeing things and how you're moving forward to really follow your heart's desire, your quest, is inspiring to other people as well. So your quest isn't just about yourself, it's also about others. It's also saying here that possibly there's, you know, you're required, it's like you're, and especially with joy being in your solar plexus, and joy being related to children, I just feel like you are being asked to kind of follow your joy, your inner child, or to be childlike as you move forward. So not to accept the negative judgments or perceptions of others, but to continue on your quest. I don't think that you should talk too much about your quest. I think people should see through your actions and not through what you say. People may have questions as well. So as well, you're being reminded as here as well that it's not so much about reaching the destination, but this is more about the journey that you're on. So you may be going through a creation kind of process, or creating something new for yourself, or, you know, following a particular quest or journey, ambition. However, you're being reminded here that it is about your journey. Like I said, it's the way you're going about it that's making people look at you and be like, oh, wow, maybe I could do that, or that was really cool how they did that, or I've never seen anyone do that before, you know, or something like that. But it's not about where you end up. It's actually about the journey, and you're actually becoming impatient because maybe you really want to get to your destination. Sorry, guys, I need to get a tissue. Sorry, guys. Okay, yeah, so it looks like you're getting impatient. You want to touch the moon. You know, you have this long, this like far-reaching vision and ambition to achieve something. Spirit is guiding you. You know, you're trying to pull the moon to you, but it's like, this is not about the actual obtaining, it's the process. It's the process. That's where the actual jewel can be found. And I think what you're learning really is about self-worth and joy, following your inner child, listening to your inner child. And when I say your inner child, I'm really talking about maybe some long lost dreams that you've had, or unmet needs that you had when you were a child that you may need to think about. That could be affecting how you're moving forward or moving today. We do have renewal here as well in your root chakra. So there is definitely some sort of renewing, releasing that's happening. You are kind of moving into a new space. You are moving forward. Like I said, I feel like it's a process. It's a creative process, and it's causing you to be renewed. It's almost like a rebirth in a way, in terms of what makes you feel safe, grounded, and secure. This is now rooted in joy. You're now doing maybe what you love to do. And you're also appreciating the good and the bad out of your experience, out of this particular situation. You're learning how to appreciate the good and the bad, and to feel like you can use both the good and the bad. It's almost like the magician card, or the magician or an alchemist, where you may see something negative happening, or certain things may have happened that maybe you hadn't planned for, or you don't feel that are positive, but you're able to still use that energy or use that situation to get you to where you want to get to. So it's that as well, really seeing the good and the bad, and the bad and the good even as well, and having a very balanced, again, not really kind of being too swayed either way in your perceptions, but kind of having this middle ground. People around you will be very polarized and opinionated, but you yourself know that it's almost like, for instance, if something didn't work out how you wanted it to, you'd be like, well, you know, I could still work with this, or I still learned that, or it still made me get here. So things may not look how you want them to look as well, but that shouldn't deter you, because no matter what happens, you can make something out of it. And we've got a couple of we've got 1, 2, 3 cards here that speak about duality. You know, so there is this energy of you maybe trying to find this middle ground, this being grounded, and appreciating the good and the bad. We've then got victim in your heart chakra space. So you may be feeling a bit like a victim at the moment. You may feel like you're caught up in a whirlwind, like you don't have any power in this situation at the moment. You may feel quite powerless. and you may be wanting people to help, but finding out that actually you're on your own in some way, as this is your quest, this is your journey. I think it's relating to you being impatient as well. Like you feel like you can't push things forward. This is a creation process in the same way that it takes 9 months for a baby to be conceived through to being born. It's a similar situation where you're going to have to just go through this process. It's not about achieving. You're going to feel like a victim if you can't get to where you want to get to in your, in the time frame that you wanted to, and you feel like you haven't got any power to make that happen. You're going to feel more like a victim. So I feel like, again, this is about perception, not looking at it that way, but looking at this as this is a process, and there is a jewel to be collected at each part of the process. Yes, okay, I'm going to get my, big gold carriage and gold encrusted, I don't know, crown, but there are jewels to there are jewels to be gathered through each stage of this journey, and you're not a victim. And really, this is bringing you closer to your inner joy. So yeah, I think joy really lies in that sweet spot, in that middle ground of following your heart for one, but not feeling too despondent because of the negative, or not being too overly optimistic because of the positive, but really kind of appreciating things just as they are, and appreciating it, living in that joy. Okay, so I hope that was clear. I do feel like the messages were a bit all over the place, but yeah, ultimately it's about how you're perceiving things this month that will help you have a more balanced, more grounded outlook, as there will be people around who will not agree, and you'll also realize you can't make everyone happy, but this is a journey that you're on. It may take some time to get there, but ultimately this is about the journey, and it's about you seeing your self-worth and being joyful. There's this childlike energy that's required as well. So I don't know, maybe you need to think about what it was that you loved when you were very young. Maybe that's also got something to do with this. There could also be issues as well that came about when you were very young that have caused you not to have very high self-worth. So I'm still shuffling here. Sorry. But yeah, perceiving the situation in a balanced way rather than a very polarized way will help you find the gems this month. Okay, people may say to you that this doesn't make sense, it doesn't look good. Like everyone may just not agree with you or where you're going, but there could be a lot of naysayers, just negative people. But change is in the air, and you think you feel it with this creation card here. There could even be spirit around that's kind of guiding you towards this kind of creative energy. But it's all around you. So there's a new beginning, there's something being birthed here. It is happening, but the first step is you allowing your inner child to kind of sing, dance, do whatever it wants, giving it a voice, a form of expression, and also focus on your self-worth. And it will help you to do that if you don't kind of be too overly optimistic or overly negative about a situation, but just be like, well, regardless of what happens, I can make something out of this and I can still get to where I want to get to. And that's what you're learning to learn. It's only really through self-worth that we confidently do that, and not be a victim, not feel like a victim, but actually feel empowered that whatever happens, I can deal with it and I still get to where I want to get to. So you've got to be fair as well. So maybe, you may be asked this month to you know, be fair to others, fair to yourself as well. It also relates to the balance card. Again, talking about duality, finding that middle ground within yourself, you know. We've also got new life. Yeah, so yeah, there is something being birthed here. I think she's coming out of an egg. So it could have been a long time coming, you know. Again, this is, I think, oh no, this is 12 cards. We've got 11, 12. We've got 10 here as well. So we've got 10, 11, 12. 10, 11, and then 12 here. So yeah, there's building blocks. It's a process. Yeah, you're building blocks to get to where you want to get to. So in order to see something, you know, she's building it. I think she's even doing this, like trying to kind of see something or something like that. But I think you need to get a bit higher so you can see a bit more. Okay, you just need to come a bit further. Build a few more blocks, I think, as I said, around any sort of victim mentality, developing that feeling of joy and self-worth, perception around those areas, and not worrying about what anyone else thinks. This is your journey. So, and ultimately it will lead to a beautiful, beautiful new renewal for you, where you'll feel stronger, more grounded, more free. You'll grow new wings, you know, you'll feel more in touch with things, and you'll just feel more balanced because you won't feel, you know, so polarized. So yeah, I hope that helped. If it did, please do like, share and subscribe. I really would appreciate it. You can get your own chakra reading where we can look in depth at your own situation. Yeah, and otherwise, take good care, and I'll see you next time. Happy birthday to any Aries or Taurians out there as well. Take care. Bye.